Hi everybody, my name is Rosemary Rung and welcome to Discover Merrimack. This is a show about the hidden treasures of our town, but today we're going to be talking about a not so hidden treasure. It's been in Merrimack for a while and it has to do with the longest day in the Alzheimer's Association. And I'm so thrilled today to have Bob Bergen, who's been championing this for so long, and Sylvia White, who's going to be talking about a really new program that they're doing. So, Bob, tell us, what is the longest day?
The longest day is the individually unique event for fundraising nationally that allows a group of people to do whatever activity they're comfortable performing. In New England, the two biggest ones are the Bluefin Blowout in Gloucester, which attracts thousands, and 48 Peaks, which has 35 teams that climb mountains in New Hampshire. Then you come down to the original teams, Lexington and New Hampshire Hot Dogs. We're the two longest. We've both been together 8 years, and our event is unique in that we started with a simple act of 15 people selling a few hot dogs, and we sold 300 hot dogs in 2016. Each year thereafter, we got larger. People started getting involved. Governor Sununu started coming in the third year. Last year, we had our most successful year. We had over 1,200 people show up, and we sold 2,500 hot dogs, and we raised just over $13,000. In the 7 years, we've raised almost $47,000. Every year is new. Every year something is exciting. I'm very, very proud of my team. I've been fortunate to have 70 volunteers, and a good chunk of my team is coming back year after year, and we always are welcome to new people, whether you're a widow thinking you want to learn more about Alzheimer's, or you want to meet other people who are in the same shoes. I'm very fortunate that in 2016 I met a lady from North Reading, Massachusetts, who became very involved in our program, very involved in what we were doing. And last November she took up a stroke to start selling puzzles. And she has this brilliant idea, so I'd like to introduce you to my friend Sylvia White.
Well, I know I was working, I was volunteering at Wreaths Across America at the Knights of Columbus Craft Fair last year. And yes. Sylvia, you were right next to us.
Yes.
So tell us about how that got started.
Well, Bob had the booth for Alzheimer's, that event, and he had brochures displayed, which they provide. And then he got the idea, and I have to give him credit that it all got started that way. He had the idea to take some of the jigsaw puzzles that he does, or that we do. We have quite a collection. And take the puzzles and bring them over there to sell them at a very reasonable price and see if we can raise a little bit more money for the Alzheimer's Association. We brought 20 puzzles over the first night and sold them all within the first hour and a half or something like that. And then the following day on Saturday, some more friends came over, brought puzzles from their home. The vendor who was next to us brought puzzles from her friends, and we put them all out, sold through most of that. Then that gave me an idea. I told them, I said, I bet you I could do something with this next June at the big Alzheimer's event that he does. So all winter long, I've been collecting gently used puzzles from friends and family, and we're going to put them. I'm going to have a booth on June 22 at the Alzheimer's event, and I'm going to be selling them and hope to raise a few $100s.
Well, that's excellent because they were just $5 a box. It's so reasonable.
And you know what, jigsaw puzzles can sell for, but so what if someone's done it once or twice? Still new to somebody else, it's a lot of fun to do.
Now, if somebody has puzzles they want to donate, how would they do that? How would they get them to Sylvia?
Well, right now we have 2 drop-off locations for the puzzles boxes at Triangle Credit.
Okay.
The branch in Merrimack and the branch on 101A in Amherst.
Okay, good.
So they've come on board to participate with us, yeah.
Oh, that's excellent. And I notice your earrings are puzzles too, so it's nice to have that theme. And so your team is what's the name of your team? It's Puzzles for a Cause. So you're just a new team then?
We
Yes.
are. Yep.
Okay. And then how long did you say the team, the hot dogs have?
We have at our team for 7 years. This is our 8th year.
So this is your 8th year.
And this is our first time we've had another team starting out in Merrimack and participating with us. And a lot of the ladies on her team were on my team. Now they've moved over to her
okay.
team. And
right.
it's a nice group of women that are hard to replace, by the way. But it's another step. It's another idea. It's another concept. It's more silly maybe than the hot dogs. But now that she's started to collect, now that she has a corporate sponsor that's going to collect puzzles in their locations, it's really going to be easier for us to just have to go to one spot and pick them up. Then she does the job of sorting out which ones are 1,000-piece puzzle. How do you find a 1,000-piece puzzle? But it's just an intriguing idea. There's a lot of people who enjoy the puzzle patience, and we did, and we do. And I think it's going to be an exciting curiosity factor. I think she's going to do very well because it's unique and it's different. And most of the vendors at our event have been selling. One lady last year was unique. Let me take it back. Ritual grooming, cut hair for 8 hours. She and another colleague did that. So technically she's the second person to sell something unique. So I'm excited about what she's going to get done.
So let me just backtrack a little bit. So the Alzheimer's Association, you can form teams to raise money.
Right.
And do they all do it on the longest day?
They all do it. They try to do it in the month of June.
Oh, the month of June.
They
okay.
discovered in 2016, 16 or 17, they were originally saying you had to do it on the longest day.
Yeah.
Then they realized that was a mistake. Well, one, you have rain, you had COVID, you had all these other things. I will never forget the day my phone rang, the middle of COVID, and it's my biggest supporter is Monsignor Paul Bouchard, the pastor of Our Lady of Mercy. Paul, I think we should do it August 3rd. Oh, okay. Just, and once the priest gives you his blessing, it's like, okay, we're back in business because we weren't going to do it. And so it's unique, and every longest day team has to be unusually unique. I am very fortunate to have this community. When I say to people that I have my town manager behind me, I have 4 state reps, I have this, I have that. Oh yeah, the governor shows up. And they look at me like, but you're only a longest day event. I said, well, not in our town. So that's the uniqueness, and we're very lucky. We're very lucky. The response to, 8 years ago, people didn't know how to spell Alzheimer's. Now they know a lot more than how to spell it. They know about it. So,
well, there's so many people that have been touched by it. I know I've told you that my late mother-in-law had Alzheimer's, and it is just such a tragic disease, and it's not just affecting the person who has it, but it's their family, their friends, their community, their neighbors, and the great thing about the Alzheimer's Association is it gives you support. It's beyond the medical issues that you might have to deal with, but it's just helping the family, giving them support on how they can help their family member, and respite care, things like that, and little ways on how do you communicate and how do you have conversations with somebody that you're losing.
Answering some of those questions that are going to go through your mind
Absolutely. So one of the things, Bob, since I've gotten involved in, I think I volunteered the last 2, maybe 3 years.
I think 3 years.
3 years is just raising awareness is so important, and removing the stigma to it.
When people come that have a family member that has Alzheimer's, and they see you, and they see Jean, they see Paul McCallie walking around, they see the governor with his sleeves rolled up, it instills them to believe they're not alone. And that's the thing that is so beautiful about, when I walk around sometimes and look around and go, they're still coming. It's 6 o'clock at night and there's still a line. And I'm like, okay. We had 1 year, I had to apologize. I lied to all the people. We ran out of rolls.
Yeah.
We couldn't find any more rolls to save our life. And we had hot dogs. We didn't have rolls. We finally started sending people to Bedford and North Nashua, and we managed to get more rolls. But the community likes it. I get notes. I get people who respond and say, I really think it's important because my relative, or everybody knows someone, I won't mention any names. We've had our litany of who's who from the town of Merrimack who's passed away with Alzheimer's.
And what was really special last year is not only the governor visited again, but tell us what happened last year. And we've got photo evidence.
Yeah, last year I was very, very pleased. I gotta read it because I can't always explain everything the way I want to. House Bill 414, which increased access to respite care in New Hampshire by expanding the definition of Alzheimer's so that caregivers of those who are symptomatic of the disease but may not yet have a formal diagnosis can be eligible for a respite care grant. It is Senate Bill 414, and it was passed in the Senate and the House, and Chris Sununu signed a ceremonial signing at our event in Merrimack, and all of the, we had 5 members of the legislature there, and all the people from the Waltham office. The president of the gentleman in the purple shirt is the president of Alzheimer's New England, and they were shocked. They were totally blown away by the number of reps, the number of people, the number of businesses, and this is 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and then he takes his jacket off and rolls up his sleeves, and Jim, who's in the purple shirt, says, "That's really the governor?" I go, "Oh yeah." And then he'll disappear into the crowd, and we won't see him again until he gets ready to leave. But having this bill passed as part of New Hampshire public policy was really, really, really important. And I thought it was special that he signed it in Merrimack, but that was his idea from what I have been told. And I think that's nice, because I think he realizes that when he comes here, he has his own family history of Alzheimer's, as many, many, many people do. And that was it was really an exciting and fun thing to have happen, and it made a really important day for us. But every year something happens that just surprises me, you know, and I just, when you have a minute, I'll explain about 2 other things that we did last year, which we've never done before.
Go ahead.
All right. You're done for the moment. We have expanded our, look how prepared I am. People that know me know I'm not normally this prepared, but Sylvia's kind of behind the 8 ball on getting me ready to be here. We have more sponsors this year. We had an increase in sponsors last year. Last year we did something for the very first time. We had the drive-through on Bishop Street. I had Greg and Tom and Mike and 2 friends and other people, and they managed it. It was like I didn't even go over there. They got whatever they needed from the basement. They radio walkie-talkied. By the way, all our walkie-talkies are donated by Mark Doyle of the state police or the state emergency management team. He's a former chief of police and was on my original team. So we were able to communicate. They did extremely well. As a new entity, they raised $2,000.
Wow.
So it was, you know, I didn't have too much time to go talk with them, but that was another identity. And this year they're going to do the same thing. Fortunately, another person that's extremely helpful is Paul McCallie, so he'll help us get that a little further along. But that's one of the things we did last year. This year we're going to have 10 vendors, including an exciting vendor who I'm very proud of. I'm still shocked. But the one thing we have been able to keep the price down of $5 for 2 hot dogs and a Coke and a bag of Utz chips is Utz donates the chips, Coke donates the cans of soda, Planet Fitness donates the water, but we were getting private $100 here, $100 there for the hot dogs. Hot dogs are 55 cents a piece, about $1,500 to buy hot dogs. Poof, out of the magic of 2 businesses, First Gear Driving School and DW Diner, we are awarded $1,500 to do with as we choose. Gus Noki, who is the owner of DW Diner, and his head honcho Karen, decided they wanted to buy all the hot dogs.
Wow.
Ron Sloan is my co-chair, and I went, "You want to do what? You want to?" And Karen goes, "And we're going to get all the rolls."
Wow.
And my eyes just went up like, that's $2,000. That's $2,000 that I don't have to expedite to get the event to the next step. So this year, then Karen decided she wanted to do something even crazier. They're going to donate all the hot dogs. They're going to donate all the rolls. And she wants to have her own booth I'm not putting her anywhere near the puzzle, but she's going to be over selling her famous bread pudding. She's going to, because she said, you don't have a dessert. This year you should have a dessert. And I said,
She's
bread
making
pudding.
big trays of.
I said, okay, we'll have a dessert. What do you want to do? She said, don't you worry about it. I'm going to take care of it. Adam's going to help me, and we're going to come over, and we're going to serve the best bread pudding that Merrimack's ever seen. And I'm like, okay. Where do I stop saying what's new? But we have, the drive-through is going to be better. Puzzles for a Cause is new. And then DW Diner not only donates an in-kind donation of 2,600 hot dogs and 2,700 rolls, but they're also going to be on site serving bread pudding. It means a lot, because never did I think we would reach a point. This is the 8th year. We literally have to buy nothing.
That's excellent.
Michael Timothy's donates all the paper goods, the mustard, the relish, the aluminum foil sheets, the gloves.
Plastic gloves.
Wow.
I just
The
give
kitchen crew.
John and Megan the list I need from Michael Timothy's, and they bring it to me. And then I don't have to chase it. I don't have to drive and get it. So I'm very excited, very grateful to the businesses that we have.
Yeah.
This is our flyer that I'll be going around town talking to people who have not been with us, and trying to educate them, primarily because my biggest belief is the focus is if we can make people more aware and more comfortable with the fact that their neighbor may have Alzheimer's, but that doesn't mean you can't do something for them. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean there's something small or something that you might think is not that important, but to them it might be. And I have found the notes that I get afterward, and even people walk up, and I had a couple of people last year, really, really nice little children, and they said, could we please write my grandmother's name on one of the pinwheels? Oh. And I said, they've seen that done. I said, sure, why don't I get a marker? We have a marker. Okay, they wanted one pinwheel. They wanted a yellow one. I said, okay, you can take that home with you? But there were 2 kids. So they both got a pinwheel, and they both wrote their grandpa's name. I didn't know that the person was actually right there. Another year, somebody asked me if they could have some of the purple armbands. This is Veteran Suicide and purple armbands, some of the 2 brands I wear. And those are the things that make the day. And I had another thing from last year that was amazing, was a person gave me a donation with an envelope that had $500 in cash in it. And it was all new money. And it just said, I love you.
Anonymous. Yeah.
And it was anonymous. And as you are a cashier, we have many people who will give us $10 and get 1 bag, and their $5 change will go into the purple jugs. She and I started the purple jugs because we were eating cheese balls. And then now the purple jugs generate $3,000 and $4,000. So the increased monies have increased because of a lot of generosity of a lot of businesses, generosity of a lot of individuals, and a lot of people that are saying, wow, this has really become an awareness. When I think of the pictures of the people and the businesses, that one picture that I surrendered to you was 2 Merrimack cops who've since retired, John Fimble, who owns Fimble Garage Door, and that one, and the 2 other people with Fimble. That was one of the original years when that was our 30-foot tent with 5 tables, and we've now gone with 2 30-foot tents, and we seat 120 people. That's exactly how comfortable it can be. You have a big table, and you had 5 grown, hungry men eating hot dogs. And in all honesty, the Fimble crew had never met those 2 police officers. And they were talking about baseball, they were talking about things, and general society things that you don't normally think that they're going to do. But every table had a mix of people. It wasn't just Fimble sitting only with Fimble, the police only sitting with the police.
Yep, everyone was socializing.
The fire department, they actually come and they get in the booth and they help serve. And that's what they like to do. So I'm never against somebody stepping up and volunteering. Each year I have a lot of good people who take, I can't think of Mary's.
There's your team, too.
This is the original. This is the original 12. This is the first year. That's the crazy group that said, "Okay, let's do this." And And that's Ron and Pat and Ginny
The
and
Lions.
Norm. Tom Lamb in the back next to me. That's Joanne Duggan in the middle. Sylvia, Larry Miller holding the sign. Bob Kilkelly, our oldest member, and Warren Hayes on the outside. They're all still coming back. They're all still there, plus 3 or 4 other people that were still in the kitchen. But that was our sign. Ron Sloan, who's on the left, his father had Alzheimer's, and he wanted to do something unique, and he made me that sign. And when I saw it, I was like, oh my Lord, this is beautiful. I said, I can't do things like that, but there are people stepping up. And one of the things I really would like to find is someone in Merrimack, if you're out there, I would love you and I need you. I have 7 packages of helium balloons that say longest day on them. We tried balloons. We couldn't make head, we made a mess of it. But if somebody's out there with some experience that knows how to do this, I can get the tanks, I can pay for them, there'll be no cost to you. But every year they send me a bag with my material, a bag of balloons. And I kind of joked and said, well, that's something we can't use, because we tried that one year and it was, none of us could figure it out. We just,
Blowing up a balloon?
Using the helium.
Tying it off after.
Using the helium and tying them off and then holding them up, and all, it was like, okay.
All right, Merrimack, let's step up. We need a
Somebody-
helium balloon
Somebody who
tire
has some
upper.
experience, I would greatly appreciate
All right.
them doing it. And it would be really, really useful. But remember, it's June 22nd,
Yep.
Thursday. It's always on a Thursday. We start at 11, and Merrimack, if you can't make it on Thursday, you can come down on Wednesday afternoon, because that was new 2 years ago. Dave Brown, who is Mr. Hustle, he has organized all of the movement of the chairs, the tables, the Merrimack Library. Hi, Yvette. She's my new friend, too. She loans me 20 tables. And the Highway Department transport them from the library to the garage door. So when Dave comes up, he goes, how come the tables got delivered? I said, I don't know. Don't question it. And the next day, the tables went back. Well, that's having Paul McCallie and people like Yvette on the team. And they say, oh, I can take care of that. I can take care of this. So I'm hoping there's somebody who could take care of balloons. But we start moving tables and chairs. We had 7 really good high school kids last year show up. I mean, most of us are 60 to 70-year-old men and some women. Then moving tables and chairs is not in our forte. So young people who have the time. I just got a very good friend of yours to sign up yesterday. Matt Brown is going to bring some friends.
Great.
Matt's going to help bring, once the hot dogs are cooked, all the hot dogs are individually grilled by Claude Mayo and John Murphy. That's all they do is grill them. They are then turned over to Lorraine Carl and Lee Neveu, who then turn them over to 2 different tables of people who have an aluminum sheet down and a roll, and then they just wrap everything individually. So I need people who will then take the finished products up the stairs and out to the tents.
So, Bob, anyone that can tie a helium balloon or that wants to volunteer and help, how do they get in touch?
2 hours, just 603-494-9835. Or, this is laughable, old, O-L-D, Bergen, B-E-R-G-I-N, at Gmail.
Oldbergen at
If you send it to Old Bergen, I read them. We had new people last year. Fran St. Peter, I never met her in my life. She's a biker and a CPA. And she was over at the drive-thru. And again, I didn't get to work with her, but everybody said, this lady's amazing. She'd never volunteered in Merrimack before that. And that's what the kind of thing that we need. We need to find some people who are willing to step up and be part of this, because you're then going to demonstrate to your neighbors that you care. And the awareness is going to be bigger. And it's just an exciting time when you have this many sponsors, and we're anticipating 1,300 to 1,400 people, and we're definitely going to reach the 25. We're thinking about 2,600, 2,700 hot dogs grilled in one day. That means everybody doing the prep work has to be aggressive and on top of them. And I leave them alone too. They told me within an inch of getting electrocuted, I'm not allowed in the kitchen, which is fine because they know what they're doing and I don't. So the one thing I do is I have a great team of managers. Ron Sloan does a good job, Tom Lamb, Dave Brown, these people, Greg Durbin, they all do their job. My cashiers, last year, she was supervising the cashiers. Now she's going over to Puzzles for a Cause. So I'm thinking of that other blonde, and she's probably going to be there most of the day. And she's been here, she's been doing it with me for 3 years. So, you know, she's one of my obvious choices to have somebody coordinate, because that's another job unto itself. We have to have people counting money, we have to have people resorting different things. So the one thing is it's a cash-only event, and we don't take credit cards.
Yeah.
And the same thing with her. She won't be able to take credit cards.
Yeah.
It's cash, and we take checks.
Yeah.
All checks can be made out to the Alzheimer's Association.
Yeah.
And I have the app on my phone that I can deposit your check right in front of you at
Oh,
the
good.
event. And I can deposit the check and hand it right back to you.
Oh, okay.
So if somebody wants to give us a donation, we'd be more than happy to do that. And come and learn who the sponsors are. Come and learn something about the town that you didn't know before. Edward Jones has been great. Fimbledore, those are the two original sponsors, which is kind of corny.
Yeah.
And then Coke and Utz Chips and Planet Fitness came
Yeah.
along. And all that just comes together. When it comes together, it makes for
Things
a...
Well,
happen.
it's been great having you on the show, Bob. And one of the real hallmarks of the longest day is that you have brought so many different parts of Merrimack together. And it's been,
Yeah.
I know it's been just a privilege for me and others to be able to support the cause on that day. So I look forward to it. Remember, it's Thursday, June 22nd. What time does it start?
11 a.m. to 7 p.m.
11 a.m. to 7 p.m. You can even drive through if you want
Drive
to pick
through,
up dinner.
take out, there you go. Just
So thank you very much for coming.
drive through is on Bishop Street. Thank you
Drive-through's
very
on
much
Bishop.
for having us.
All
Thank
right,
you for
thank
having us,
you.
yes.
Thank you. This was great. Bye, everyone.